Hello everyone, it's me yet again with the great replay I fought between another good player, which is called Happy. He went for kind of an unorthodox Galatian build. I'd like to kick this off by saying once again, thank you to the new subscriber, means a lot. If you enjoyed the video, just leave a freaking do not lack on me, leave a like. So unorthodox build, there's going to be mercenary or skirmishers instead of the Galatian raiders, which are quite more expensive. And I would assume versus Egypt, it kind of makes sense. Then again, I would like to have those melee stats from the other or skirmisher late game against a flimsy faction like Egypt. There will be 3 noble Galatian spearmen. There's going to be 4 Galatian legionnaires, Levy Freeman as a meat shield. There's going to be a bunch of slingers, 4 of them. So very good pick versus Egypt. More than decent cavalry contingent when facing a faction that doesn't have a cavalry contingent. So for my build, we will have a similar build that I use versus another Galatia. It was fought against Cali. So I made few changes. One of the changes is that I let go of the Ptolemaic Cav and I replaced it with the Citizen Cav. Versus a spear heavy faction like Galatia, it's a must. So this build is super interesting. It relies sorely on precursors. So we'll see a lot of 2-hero spears, Levy 2-heroes as well, instead of the Nubian, which I had in the previous build. But they're the same cost really, so I figured might as well just go for more Javelin to be thrown. There will be a killing force on each side, which is going to be those Galatian Royal Guard. Absolutely deadly unit when used properly, but then again, it makes it easy to counter when you're facing a faction that relies solely on one unit. We'll have the Tarentine Cav working end-to-end with the mercenary Rhodian Slingers. And so the reason I decided to go for this battle is to show the value of damaging units prior colliding with them. So as you see on paper, obviously his infantry is going to crap on my infantry, easy peasy lemon squeezy, considering I'm relying solely on the Carrion Axemen and Levy 2-heroes. Then again, there's 1 2-hero spears for late game, but it's just not going to cut it in melee. And therefore, his infantry obviously should fare well all across the battlefield, at the exception of the Galatian Royal Guard. But then again, all you need is to blunt the charge with Cappadocian, follow up with Galatian Legionnaire, and you should win against the Galatians. So actually, it's 3 Slingers and 1 Syrian Archers. The Syrian Archers is going to be on the left flank, which I assume is there to counter any push towards his left flank. And I'm actually going to end up pushing on this flank, so probably a bit of a tactical mistake. To seize the upper end in the skirmishing fight, I send my Tarentine to get few javs, and therefore this Slingers is just absolutely damaged, and we'll see that occurring all across the battlefield, and it's really just to give the upper end to my Slingers. So this unit is there to be sacrificed, and definitely there to eat a lot of Javelin to the face. This is where the Levy 2-heroes comes in, and it's important to have a lot of units, obviously, when using Rhodian Slingers that are there just to protect them. We'll see a good move by him, focusing on my Levy 2-heroes with his archers, which means he wants to free up the Rhodians from protection. Here I'll seek the opportunity and break his meat shield right away. Gets Rex. So obviously this is a kiting build. This is good for us, getting shots into mercenary Cretan archers. So this is a kiting build. So you'll see whenever a unit is being drawn in, you need to use your Jav ASAP. This mercenary Cappadocian only take 1 loss, but did take a bunch of HP damage. Citizen Cav losing only 4 men to rob the Levy free. Probably will come back, but definitely worth it. And so this build is in no way a add-on build. It's going to be all about kiting, trying to change the enemy line and get your shots in with your Rhodian Slingers in the meantime. This build works well versus Galatia, I find. It's not the type of build that's going to win against any other faction, really. And actually, I faced a Galatian player who absolutely crapped on it recently. He's called Oplite. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's a good player. He beat me 2-0. And before we keep on going, I want to say that the battles with Appy ended up 5-3 in my favor, so it wasn't a complete blowout at all, actually. Tarantine showing their value, throwing Jav into expensive units, and will be ready to be sacrificed sometime soon. Ouch. Nice waste of ammunition there, not a single kill. The Syrian archer took a beating, and they will be absolutely crucial towards late game, actually. That's a problem with Egypt, you know, with such shitty cavalry, it makes it very hard to be in a position where you can chase down the enemy skirmishing unit late game. So, you know, you gotta either use your cavalry very wisely or crack their infantry fast enough for you to, to be able to chase down those units afterwards. Egypt's definitely a very hard faction to make work. I remember Mancho de Spunietas. I don't know if you guys remember this guy. He was with both SH clan and then turned towards AC clan. And this guy was an absolute fucking beast with Egypt in general. That's it, we'll fast forward a little. So we'll see redeployment towards the right side of our opponent. So the reason we do that is to try to start luring those Galatian Royal towards a movement, opening the flank, and therefore getting hit by Rhodian Slingers. I find with Rhodian Slingers, honestly, just use it, the fast fire. It's absolutely crucial to use it. And you know what, it's worth it to get that unit tired. Here, a bit of a miss micro by putting pressure on this side. He actually bit the dust on his slingers. Cappadocian getting engaged, but a hell of missiles hitting them, so definitely worth it. I'll lose a citizen for that much damage on a Cappadocian any time of the day. But what happened now is that we're absolutely out of cavalry. This Cappadocian is off the battlefield. Galatian Royal Guard is going to start colliding. Now we will finally see the flanks of the Galatian legionnaires. Let's see how good these guys are going to do versus the... So actually the combat is even still. On the grinded fight though, it's going to be an easy victory for us. Sending in elite unit towards all the precursors is going to be a mistake ultimately. We've got slingers focus firing, and there's going to be a bunch of missiles as well. Here we'll see, yeah, we actually get the counter charge, so he's going to pull back a bit too hastily in my opinion, which allows our Galatian to get their charge in. Here by charging into a block formation, obviously we open up the flanks of the Galatian noblemen. We're going to be popping add-ons, bringing our general nearby to refresh them once they get tired. It's going to do a nice job of reinforcing. We were able to get kind of a charge in there, already up 100 kill. This Galatian nobleman is saying goodbye to the world. It used its special ability called Vanish, and it just disappeared into a new realm. Bye-bye. Now those two arrows are an absolute beast of a unit. I like them so much. With the square formation, their Javelin. So you're going to get their value by, that's it, hitting the flanks of unit with their Javelin, and then blunting charges with square formation. And as you can see, that focus fired is starting to pay off. Those Galatian Royal Guard down 60 men with 100 kill, probably not worth it up until that point. But then again, it allowed us to damage so many units. So the Sabek Cultist is there to try to break unit faster. This is our last cav unit being thrown away, pinning down the Galatian Legionnaire and just unleashing a hell of fire onto them right after. I do not think our citizen's going to be in good shape when they get out of there. So, on its face right now, the upper end is definitely going to me. But the problem is going to be once I start running out of those Javelin, which is going to happen soon. We did our damage at this point with them. Those units are going to be absolutely useless in melee, at the exception of the Levy-Tureros because they can actually form a square. He's focused firing on the Sabek cultists very wisely, I would say, and it's to stop that wavering effect from the scare units. Once again, focus fire. I tried this build versus Hunter, and it did not work at all. Relatively close, but did not work at all. It doesn't work versus everyone, honestly, that build. You kind of have to catch your opponent off guard in a way. Those Galatian Royal Guard are going to be absolutely clutch towards the late game like that. As we can see, most of our opponent unit have been damaged, at the exception of the single Galatian Legionnaire. But we'll probably focus fire by now. I'll actually be a bit slow and keep on firing on the noblemen, which are getting absolutely shredded. We are... Yeah, no, he still has a bunch of cavalry ready to attack our skirmishers, so this is really up in the air regardless of the balance of power. And now I find this Egyptian build only to work against Galatia as far as Barbarian is concerned. And the reason being is that Galatia, when you think about it, is not that versatile. I mean, you just know you're going to be facing those Legionnaires with 75 armor, which is a fair amount of armor, but they're so slow. It's very easy to counter them with a lot of missiles. Karen Axemen are going to start engaging, but what this does is that it pins down his noblemen, and there's just going to be a bunch of javelin firing towards them. We just saw this Cappadocian absolutely melting from the battlefield thanks to the focus fire. Here is a clutch maneuver. We see that he is trying to get to our general, and therefore we're going to pull back in a manner that exposes the back of the Galatian Legionnaires. We're going to start to form a block in the middle. What that's going to do is expose the flank of that unit as far as they collide. This Galatian Royal Guard up 89 kills, 69 men's left. Nice. Just absolutely going to crap on this Galatian Legionnaire. Enemy generals taking a beating, but as we can see, gathering a lot of kills as well. Galatian nobleman, same thing. The biggest danger for us at this point, I would say, is... I was going to say the slingers, but quite frankly, I believe they're out of ammunition. So no, the slingers will not be dangerous to us. So yeah, this is actually looking pretty good for us. The only thing is that a lot of our infantry is absolute garbage, so we're going to start getting charged in the back with this highly depleted Galatian Royal Guards. This is not looking too good for Egypt, quite frankly. At this stage of the battle, I think I would feel more comfortable... yeah, cheeky charge there. This sucks for him. I would feel more comfortable with what Galatia has left to offer. Our general is going to break right now and then. Ugh, this is bad. Galatian nobleman general unit still alive. Turero Spears was able to cause quite a lot of damage to the Levy 3. Rhodian Slingers out of ammunition, I would assume. Then again, 69 kill, perhaps a few ammunition left. Now the Galatian Royal Guard is going to start gathering a lot of kill, and you'll see how he's going to pull back his units, and he's actually going to allow us to get a lot of charge with the Royal Galatian, which is absolutely terrible for him. That 32 charge bonus means a lot. There's a break there, and yeah. Clean charge. The enemy general is actually faring relatively well, up 200 kill, but the flank is turned right now, and we're getting a lot of shots with the Levy Tureros. Although we are starting to see a collapse from the Levy Freeman. Once again, he pulled back a unit, which allowed me to charge another of his units. Those Galatian Royal Guard are going to have an absolute blast of a good time. Now, whenever you see those rear charge happening, it's bad news. Even with 50 moral and only 20 men left, these guys want to rout from that rear charge. I just came down with a nasty fever, gentlemen. I hope you forgive my my laziness. And actually, I'm gonna take a moment to tell you guys I'll be off for a few weeks. Well, actually, I'm moving to a new city for a few years. My girlfriend is doing her master's there. It's in Toronto, and therefore I'm gonna go live with her, and I'm gonna rent my own place here to a good friend of mine, move to my girlfriend's. But I will actually have to leave my computer behind because I am going by train. And so therefore I will not be playing Rome 2 for a very fair amount of time, and I'm actually thinking of just rebuilding a new computer and just throwing this one away, really. It's a good computer, or just selling it, I mean. So yeah, I'll probably, that's gonna be in my last few uploads for time to come. I would assume my next upload is gonna be in a few months from now. But what I'll do in the 4 days to come, I'm just gonna record a bunch and set them up with a scheduled release, so I can still have an actual video dropping out once upon a time. Those Galatian Royal Guards, look at that, 295 kill. And they're gonna be absolutely thriving versus Galatian Legionnaires. Then again, there's 65 left of them against 27. We're gonna have a 2-arrow spear, starting to lose, because it's connecting with the Galatian Royal Guard, Legionnaires. So the balance of power is actually going to start to switch back in our favor as the kill gets up. The one thing that balance of power do not take in consideration, I think, is the moral bonus. And yes, I think that's why it was going in his favor, but really the unit-wise is it's going to be in my favor. And as you see, there's 1 minute 15 left in that battle. And quite frankly, it's the first time I've seen that. Look for how long this fucking Galatian Legionnaire is gonna just hang in there. The fact that it got a charge on the 2 arrows and therefore inflicted a lot of kills boosted their moral, or shall I say reduced the moral penalty. 19 men, 33, 20. So yeah, we'll see the 2 arrows routing. So it's up to the Galatian Legionnaires to win that. The balance of power is going to be in my opponent's favor. And therefore what that's going to mean is that these guys will refuse to break because of the balance of power, which fails to take into consideration the moral of our Galatian Royal Guard. Now at 330 few kills. So yeah, another 15 seconds of that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. I thought it was a very interesting battle. And I just like how all the corpses start from there and there. These were the 2 main engagements where a lot of javelins were thrown. Honestly, this could have easily been considered a tie. Should have been, perhaps. Let's go over his skill. One of the Galatian noblemen we saw getting wrecked with only 69 kills. Nice. 257 on the general, 130 there, not gonna make it. Cappadocian cavalry, it seems like my opponent, just like I had trouble using these guys, got absolutely melted by a hell of javelins. Skirmishing calves serving their purpose, nothing too stellar whatsoever. His slingers not doing much. Same goes for the Syrian archers. One of his Galatian Legionnaire doing fantastic. That's a guy that lasted until late game. Then we've got the Levi Freeman, 99 kill there, 12 kill, 82. Not a bad job actually, getting a lot of kill on those shitty 2-arrow spears. General, not a lot of kills, and you'll see it's true all across the battlefield. All of my units got low kill at the exception of this Terios, but their kill were very valuable. A lot of armor penetration damage as well. Galatian Royal Guard, 3 Chevron, I mean, that's a rare sight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed. Have a good one. Bye.